Hello and welcome to Walk the Pod, your daily walking show where I take my podcast for a walk because I don't have a dog. My name is Rachel Wheely, host of Walk the Pod, walking around my local streets this lunchtime. Well, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon actually, this lunchtime. Lunchtime in a very broad sense of the word. Thinking about our theme of inspiration for this series 54. And paying attention to what's directly in front of me and tempting you away from your desk to do the same. Today I'm going to include the thoughts of the philosopher Fredrick Schelling, a German philosopher who was writing about ideas, but I think perfectly captures something about inspiration that's worth thinking about. Welcome to Walk the Pod. So, Fredrick Schelling, German philosopher, writing about ideas, who wrote that only ideas provide action with energy and significance. This made me laugh when I read it because I was thinking about the character Vector in Despicable Me, who talks about vector is direction and magnitude, energy and significance. So, only ideas provide action with energy and significance. And I think this is interesting because I was thinking about inspiration. I was thinking, does it count as inspiration if you have an idea but it's not something you're actually interested in doing? Because for inspiration to really, for us to feel inspired, we've got to have an idea and it's got to fill a critical void in our psyche somehow. It's got to really resonate with us. It's got to make us think, yes, this is the answer to a question that I've actually been asking, a question that I am interested in. And I think that is what separates inspiration from perhaps more quotidian feelings like motivation. Motivation is all fine, has a bit too much to do with productivity, really, but isn't as spiritual as inspiration, which I think is a transcendent kind of state, a bit like joy, where we feel like anything is possible for just a little bit, but it's not called a flash of inspiration for nothing. These feelings do come and go almost as quickly. So perhaps that's inspired some thoughts in you about inspiration, about the way motivation, inspiration and ideas connect. Do you think that inspiration fills a critical void in the psyche? Or is that just a little bit too soody to be helpful as an idea? I would love to hear your thoughts. Please go to walkthepod.com and press the button marked leave a voice note for Walk the Pod if you'd like to send me 90 seconds of your voice on the topic. Because what inspiration means to you is much more interesting than everything I can dig out of the internet. And if you prefer to type, you can send me an email, walkthepod@gmail.com. What can I see directly in front of me? Well, I feel enormously lucky to have moved to a house that is 2 minutes away from a big green field and 5 minutes away from a lake. I've walked down to the lake. I'm looking out over the water. This is a lake that was excavated when a bunch of clay bricks were needed to build Cannon Hill House on Cannon Hill Common in the 18th century. And the lake was left from the hole in the ground. And that's an interesting thing, isn't it? That they went to build a house, which no longer exists, but the lake was created as a complete byproduct of the building process, and yet the lake is what is still here today. And it's full of ducks and coots and moorhens who are all being very charming to one another, for it is that time of year. And they're rather fun to watch. doing a lot of diving for grubs and worms. So we've got lots of feathered bottoms sticking into the air. And you can't really be sad when there's feathered bottoms in the air, can you, poddies? So it's a lovely afternoon's walk down by the lake. And another thing about inspiration is sometimes what we're inspired to is peace. Sometimes the brain is very busy with anxious and stressed thoughts, and what can inspire peace is something very serene and placid, like a lake with a load of ducks on it. So I think what we can be inspired to is very broad indeed. It's, as I said, a little later than I normally record, so we've got very, very low air temperatures here in southwest London. Pretty much a blue sky, although it is a bit difficult to tell whether it's blue or whether it's just going to dusk. But it's been a nice day here, and many birds singing their little hearts out around and about as we approach the very end of winter, I think it's fair to say. I want to say a big shout out to Mature's one-eyed bloke off of the Walk the Pod lunchtime walk club, who popped round today to say hello, and it was an absolute delight to speak with him for a few hours. Had a lovely time catching up, and it generally just brings me great joy to have a chance to go for a walk with an old pal. So that was a delight today. So I'm feeling very happy about that. I'm very happy to be in your company once again. Thank you for walking with me, dear friends. It's been an absolute delight to stretch my legs with you this lunchtime. We will keep recording our episodes on inspiration until the end of next week. If you're new to Walk the Pod, it is 10 episodes on sequential business days. Don't know why I'm having difficulty speaking today. 10 working days in a row of podcast episodes, so that's why it's a daily walking podcast. And then we usually have a couple of weeks off, and then we start again. And that way you can walk with Walk the Pod all through the year, no matter where you are in the world. And we're in the Northern Hemisphere in the UK, so we are walking our way into spring at the moment. But if you're walking in Australia or New Zealand, hello Kiwi Rob, this can also be a podcast for you. And if you're walking, you are welcome along just as much as if you're cycling or running or simply sitting in your house thinking, oh, I'd like to walk, but not quite doing it yet. As somebody from the Church of England said to me once, which I thought was optimistic, we welcome people from every step on the path. And it's not something I took them up on, but I like the idea of it. I'm slightly off the path, walking in a different direction into the woods, but it's nice that they'll accept me there as much as anywhere else. Take care of your beautiful mind, dear friends. Do check out patreon.com/Rachel Wheely if you'd like to join the Walk the Pod Lunchtime Walk Club. Walk with our virtual walking club all around the world, all through the year. And check out walkthepod.com too for ways to leave me messages and your thoughts on inspiration. I'll be back tomorrow.